I'm Cassidy.
And I'm Kennedy.
And this is Threads of Wealth.
The thing I love about H2 Tab is that it's so easy to travel with. It's so easy to take. Even if you're just going to work, you're going to a workout. If you're just on the go, it doesn't necessarily have to be on an airplane. But whether it's in a car, airplane, just going to work, it is so easy to take with you. The little hydrogen tablets are so small, they'll fit right in your purse. And then the same with the isotonics, which I take every single morning. They come in individual packets. And so it's so easy to just throw in your bag.
Yeah, I have to give a shout out to the new flavor, the lemon lime, because I just released and I tried it and it is so good. I like that it has I feel like it has a lot of flavor to it. So everyone needs to try the lemon lime flavor and the raspberry and the unflavored. It's all good, but you can use our code Threads of Wealth for 10% off. Today we're sitting down with Dirk and Megan Kool, owners of Mega Strong Fitness right here in Sioux Falls. They built an incredible community helping thousands of people get stronger at home using live virtual workouts, accountability, and the philosophy that fitness doesn't have to be complicated to be effective. Welcome to Threads of Wealth, Dirk and Megan. Dirk and Megan, we're excited that you guys are on the show today. Can you guys just start by sharing how Mega Strong began and your journey to starting it?
Yeah, thanks for having us on. We're very excited to be here with you guys. So Mega Strong started, well, it's been a little over 9 years ago. I always go by when my daughter Riley was born. So we're a blended family. So I had just gotten done with a political campaign, found out I was pregnant, which is the greatest whoopsie that's ever happened to me. Yeah. And knew that I needed to move home. Had no idea what I was going to do. I had been doing political campaigns, didn't really know where to go from there. So my cousin had an all-women's gym that she ran in Winter, South Dakota. And so while I was pregnant, I actually got my certification to become a personal trainer. So then after I had Riley, I would go in 3 to 4 days a week. I would train clients from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. all day long. Definitely knew I had a passion for it. Loved having just back-to-back clients and the high of that. And I kind of got a reputation of I worked out with all of my clients, which was crazy for a trainer to do. But what I couldn't do is just stand over. And I'm not saying that I lifted super heavy or went 100%, but I wanted it to feel like they were working out with a friend. And so that's what I got known for, is that I was this really intense trainer, but that I also worked out with everybody. And so I love that I always had a packed schedule. Well, then I got offered a job on Marty Jackley's campaign, which is how I got to know you guys. Got offered a job with him, and it was kind of an offer I couldn't pass up to be the East River director for him. So went to his governor's campaign, and when I left, all of my clients were like, well, you can't stop training us. And I was like, well, I can't train all of you individually and work full time. So they were actually the ones who suggested that I start training through Skype at the time. Wow. So Skype was the big platform that you don't hear anymore. And so, I just had these 12 to 15 clients that would log in every morning. I never advertised. Most people didn't even know I did it every morning. But 5:30 a.m. I'd get up, I'd do it. And it just kind of slowly started to grow. They'd spread the word that people could do it. This was so janky. I think back now, I would have them mail me checks, which is just so weird.
Back in the Skype days.
Yeah, back in the good old Skype. But anyway, so I just laugh at myself now. I'm like, wow, we have advanced so much. But anyway, so just did that. And at the time, I had my daughter the majority of the time. I was basically 100% providing for her. And at that time, it was just a way to pay for my daycare. And then, that it progressively grew. I think when Dirk and I started dating, I was at 40 or 50 clients. So it was decent, but nothing big. Yeah. I couldn't quit my job or anything. And then Dirk and I started dating. We got married, or we got engaged. And then right after we got engaged, COVID hit. So Dirk was doing the workouts with me that whole time. But then when COVID hit, all of a sudden Mega Strong just blew up, which he'll tell you, we don't know if it was COVID or if it was him joining Mega Strong. That was real.
It happened at the same time.
It happened around the same time.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. So then he joined, and it was really cool, and I'll let him take over. But the coolest part of that was Dirk was a D1 college football player at SDSU, captain of their football team, in great shape, obviously, when we knew each other in college. And then we kind of drifted apart and then came back together. And he had gained about, I don't know, you said 70 to 80 pounds.
Yeah.
70, 80 pounds. Not a muscle.
Nope.
Not a muscle. He was working, he was a used car
There was
salesman.
muscle there.
Buried deep underneath. Yes, there was. So he was a used car salesman, was definitely living that life. You know, he drinking, eating whatever he wanted. He was going a lot of Poncheros. Sawyer, his son, our
Fair.
son
Still
together,
sounds
but
amazing.
Fair.
but
Yep.
Sawyer will say that they ate that for every single meal. If you ask
so
him.
funny.
Which is not true. But it did look like it.
It did. And so then I had given him the choice. I said, hey, you can stay behind the camera. There's no pressure for you to join every morning. But I said, if you are going to join me, you have to take this seriously. Like this has to be like an all-in thing. And he did. I mean, I'm not saying there weren't some mornings that he
No,
probably
there were some rough
questioned.
patches. I think from the beginning, was I on screen from the beginning?
You were. You
Yeah.
had said from the beginning.
So I jumped in and I just, and I knew that there would be some rough patches there, especially because I would not get up early in the morning and do the workouts, but quickly transitioned into it. And I know a lot of clients said that they really appreciated me being there so that they could relate more to the audience, because I was dogging it. But no, I fell in love with it. Men have the misconception that we have to go to a gym and that we are manly enough that we do our own thing, and that especially a woman's not going to tell us how to work out. Well, when I got over that hump, which did not take long, you realize that not only do you sometimes need somebody to give you structure, but that we don't have to do it all on our own, and you can absolutely do it from home. So I'm in the best shape of my life, and that includes when I played football, because it's more of a longevity thing. Is, you know, I don't need to lift like I was playing football anymore. But I feel the best that I've ever felt. Our big transition into me starting to do the workouts too is that there's a lot of women doing it and a couple husbands, but not a lot. So it was like, okay, Dirk can start doing a half an hour. That's going to lure more men in and give them the opportunity to.
Don't let him fool you, though. He has like a cult-like following of older women who are like
protect me.
They
Makes
do.
sense.
If they feel I'm being hard on Dirk that day, they will
stick up for
come and don't you be mean to Dirk. I'm like, he's my husband. That's why we got
One person
married.
that gets to be with
I get to boss him around if I want
Yeah.
to.
Oh my gosh. I love
But it was
that.
really cool because it's hard to put into words when Mega Strong started growing how crazy it was. So we actually it was a 9-month span that we grew by over 1,000 people. Wow. So it was just me. He was working full time and you know, car sales, it was 6 days a week, and he was working, you know, like 12-hour days.
Saturdays too.
So he would come home and I had not left my kitchen table where he left me. I mean, I was like, well, actually got carpal tunnel during that time because it was only me. Wow. And that's all I did is I was signing people up and I was answering emails, and it was just crazy. Like I'd be like, we gained 100 people this week, you know, and it was just, so the word quickly spread. It was a fun / one of the most stressful times of my entire life. But then he came home one day and I hadn't left that spot. I had hardly ate. I was just a mess. And I said, either you quit your job and come help me or I cap this.
Well, and that was kind of the point where COVID, at least in South Dakota, had passed, where I was very nervous about, if I'm going to quit my job, then we need to make sure that COVID's not just keeping this around. So it was well past that point where people could go back to the gyms. And I think a lot of people just realized, like small towns, that it was so much easier for them to just work out from home. They don't need to go to a gym.
We have a lot of rural, very rural. So we're across the U.S., but I mean, predominantly Midwest. And a lot of women who will be like, I'm an hour from the gym, or I'm a half hour from the gym. And by the time I get there and drive home and then have to shower and everything, like I wasted 2 hours of my morning. So yeah, I mean, what a luxury we have if you're in Sioux Falls. But even us being out by Hartford, I couldn't drive into a gym every morning. We have 3 kids and a 4th on the way. Like, that's not happening for me. So it's just really cool that we just walk out to our garage every morning and both of us
really hard and be done with it.
Work really hard and be done with it. And then it's, you know, and then he also started a car wash, which was purely tax purposes. You know, we were like, holy moly, the government loves us. You know, but when you're working from home. But so he started a car wash, and so then we've just been operating those 2 businesses together ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. So running a business together as husband and wife probably has ups and downs, obviously, but how has that shaped your marriage, running Mega Strong together?
Want to answer this?
You can start.
I always tell people it's probably different. So Dirk and I were like, I mean, more than friends, but really good friends in college. And like, we've always just liked to be together, which you always hope that you like to be with your spouse, but more like in a friends. Like I say, it's like Dirk and I are almost like friends first and then husband and wife second. I don't know. So running a business together didn't seem like that big of a deal. Now, am I saying, I always tell people, I'm like, am I saying that we don't bicker on workouts sometimes, or that right before we walk out that we're not like, I kind of don't like you today. You know what I mean? Because it's 5:30 in the morning.
And it's also not scripted.
Yeah.
So
Nothing is.
it really is just whatever
just you guys.
I think of saying.
very organic,
which I've gotten a lot better at that. But
Have you?
no, actually yesterday, no. But it happens less than.
He called yesterday. He was trying to think of what a seahorse was called, and he called it a horsefish. And I mean, I got to laugh.
And I mean, right away, I just knew like that sounds ridiculous.
That can't be
But also, everybody knows what I'm talking about.
But everybody knew what I was talking about. I was like, well, please don't ever
that's
say
on the blend.
But how great for people working at home that they can like be laughing.
I think that's what's important too, is the husband and wife, and they see us enjoying ourselves, and it's realistic. Like the kids come running in, and like we love the non-scripted type of atmosphere, because we do get a response from people saying we feel like we're hanging out with you, and then getting to work out with you because we're not doing it in person with each other.
And we've had some. It's funny when people first join, they'll like try to give us like feedback, which is funny because I'm like, the program's been going for 9 years. We pretty much got it established, you know? But people will try to give us feedback like, I don't really like the like banter back and forth. I just want you to get on there and show me the workouts. And then after a while, we've had people come back and be like, okay, I get it now. You guys are like, you feel like, I've had people say, I feel like I missed like the group chat. Or I feel like I missed like being a part of something that day. And so it's like, it's just our lives. I said sometimes I wish we weren't so real. Like it's like two people who aren't good at being fake that have gone on a workout, and then for better or worse, it's like we don't edit anything. So we'll get done. We'll be like, well, that was kind of stupid that we said that, but let's just send it out.
Whatever.
You know, we're not retaking it. We're not redoing the workout. So send it out. So there's no editing, and it's just like, we just try to be real life. And I've had people say, you should be more active on social media. You can be this. And I'm like, well, our entire lives are put out into that workout each day. So if you're a part of our program, you know everything. You know everything about us. They know the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know. And then when you show up every day, 6 days a week, if you're sick, you're tired, you're not doing very good, mentally, physically, whatever, people know. So they know everything about us.
To answer your question too, I feel like every marriage could, or like it totally depends on the people on the marriage. If they can make a small business work together, for us, we're so alike that we can make it, and we both have the same type of like, let's get in here, let's work as hard as we can, and then we're done. Obviously, if there was a couple where they didn't have that same perspective, it wouldn't work out that well.
So even like packing apparel, people would be like, you guys pack all your own apparel? Because, you know, we might have days where we get, if we launch new apparel, that we have 200 apparel orders or something like that. And we're like, well, we love it. Because we're just like, how quick can we get this in? And our kids will be writing thank you notes and stuff like that. So cool. For us, but if you had people who worked at a very slow pace, that probably wouldn't work out. But
no, hire it out then.
For me, I said, I don't ever want us to have to hire anybody on just because we both have high expectations of ourselves. And I said, I already know that I probably wouldn't be a very good boss. Because I have very high standards, and so does Dirk, and we both know the standard. And some days we're gonna bicker over how high the standard is, but
so I will never open up a restaurant, I don't think.
No. But it is. It's fun. It's like I get to work every day with my best friend.
That sounds amazing.
And like I said, for us, we actually call the workouts couples therapy. So I think that the best thing that people can do for their marriage, especially if you don't see each other all day long, we have a lot of couples who say they either start their day or they end their day with their workout, and that their marriage is stronger than ever. And I think that is so important, because you're doing something that you're not going and having drinks at the bar together.
Right.
You know, you're not like going and eating junk food together. You're not like binge watching TV. You're doing something productive that makes you look and feel good. And there's that meme out there or that video out there that said, let's start a new generation of I'm not giving up on myself for my spouse. I'm going to become the hottest version of myself for my spouse. Like I'm not letting go of myself. Like why would I do that?
Right. Yeah.
And also I'm pregnant. He keeps getting hotter. So I have to really
keep up.
really got to work on it right now, you know?
Yeah. No, I think that's so cool. So I own a fitness studio in Yankton, and I don't have a lot of men that come regularly. We have a lot of men that come in here and there that drop in, but this last February I did like a Valentine's couples night, just to try to get more men in the door comfortable with, you know, like coming to the studio and working out and stuff like that and doing it with their spouse or girlfriend or whatever it was so fun. And people left and said, that's the most fun we've had together in so long. And I think that's so amazing that you guys get to do that every day.
And it does need to be a certain type of workout where it works with Megan, because she almost lifts as much as I do. So I'm just trying to lift 5 pounds heavier than Megan all the time. If it was like a grab your 3 pounds type of thing, that wouldn't work out as well. So that military type of mentality helps tremendously with bringing more men in.
Yeah.
And we have a lot, and I would say in the last 2 years, there's more single men actually signing up than I've ever seen.
Really? Every time a single man joins, we're like, yes!
Yeah.
We
That's
go!
amazing.
Hang on to him.
That's
so cool.
Yeah, and then they have him to reach out to with those types of questions. He has a lot of
Men questions. Men don't ask questions very often.
Dirk used to try to answer the women's questions, and then it got to be
sports prod. I'm like, hey, Megan, this is...
he was like, he handles the men's questions, and I handle the women, and it's a great relationship.
I like that. So one thing you guys talk about is discipline over motivation. So can you speak to that a little bit, and why do you think people wait to feel motivated, and what's detriment does that do to people?
I actually so I'm a big quote of the day person. That's like, that's where like people start calling them the rants of the day, which I'm totally fine with, because when I'm in workout mode, I get to seeming like a very aggressive person, which I'm not all the time, but like people just think like 24/7, that's how I operate. But when I'm in like workout mode, it's game on. And so I have these rants of the day where I go over a quote, but it said, the one quote that I used like 2 days ago was, you're never going to be ready. You show up, you suck, you get better, and you start this new lifestyle. So we all show up, we all suck, and we all try to get better. And that's all that it is. And so if you're especially a parent, there is never going to be a right time.
Yeah.
Like I still have a 4-year-old who's like going through sleep regression right now, who basically wants to sleep on top of me at night. We're going to have a new baby soon. I mean, you could think of a million reasons why I wouldn't get up and work out. I was pregnant and I was not feeling good. And it's just, so if you're always waiting to be ready, you're never going to start.
Yeah.
And so that's why we say that motivation is crap. I hate that word, because I always say that if I relied on being motivated, I would maybe show up to work out 1 day a week.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to be dedicated, you have to be disciplined. And I said, it's going to suck for a while, but you just have to do it. Like when he started with us, it was just funny to watch how his mentality has evolved, because he would try to be like, I have a headache today. And I'd be like, okay, big baby, get up, let's go. And just had to like force it until it became a habit. And so I said, no, I wasn't nice to Dirk. I wasn't like, oh, you have a headache. Oh, I was like, get up, let's go. We have to be on there. And I know it's different that we run the fitness program, but we don't have to show up on vacation.
Yeah.
I didn't have to show up when I was like ready to throw up when I was working out. Like he could have taken over for me. We just do it.
Yeah.
And that's, like you said, when it was, because I wasn't always that way, headaches or excuses that were coming up for why I shouldn't work out. That was me at 70 pounds heavier, and I had aches and pains that I had never had before because of all that extra weight I was carrying. But for anybody listening, if you are in that position and you want to get past the motivational part of things and then get into more of a dedicated deal, it does get better with that. Once that weight is lost, I'm not saying that we wake up every morning like I still need pre-workout to get the motor going. Yeah, but it does get a lot easier once you lose that weight to be just dedicated and have it as part of your everyday routine.
And like you said, what that Arnold Schwarzenegger had said is, I don't look as working out any different than brushing my teeth. It's just what I do.
It's just what I do.
And if you can get over it being like an option every day, and it's like, no, I got to go work out, and that's what I do, and that's who I am, and I'm a dedicated and disciplined person. It gets easier when it's not like am I going to get up and work out today?
Yeah.
With us, it's like, no, I set my clothes out at night. I have everything ready to go in the morning. My workout is written up on the board, and like I am getting up and going and working out.
Yeah, and I think for people that have never been a college athlete, for people that have never really been into fitness, that are interested in it and trying to work past that motivation or with that mindset of it being an option, community is huge. And I think you don't always see that with the virtual programs, or you don't always see that with working from home. A lot of people are like, well, I'm more comfortable starting at home, but then I don't have the accountability, or I don't have like, I'm able to just snooze my alarm or just skip it today. I'll do it later, and then you never do it. But I think what's really incredible about what you guys have built is that there is that community. And I like what you said about it's just real. I think if it wasn't real, people probably wouldn't feel that community and then might not have that attachment. And like, I want to show up today, not because I want to work out, but because I want to know what's going on with Megan and Dirk. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's right.
Yeah. Our cows got out, whatever it is, you know.
But like you said, there is actually, we love hearing from people that I know is somebody that was cutting my hair that was a client a couple years ago said a group of women, 6 or 7, have a Snapchat group together. So we didn't even know about this, but together that all do Mega Strong, and they keep each other accountable every morning.
And we have like the group, we have a group me app. We have, and that's what we're trying to do is I think Dirk, I've come to him with some of these ideas, and I think he's like, oh gosh, you're crazy. Another thing, another day. But we started a Bible study 38 weeks ago. And so that's the 7th day of the week that we're working, because I was like, oh, the only day we have
That's
left.
why I kind of fought back. I was like, can you give yourself one day of rest?
It's
It's
refreshing.
Sunday. It is the day of rest.
It's refreshing for me because like the Bible study, we do it on Sunday evenings, and we have just this incredible group of people. And I didn't think that very many people would show up for Bible study, and we have like 250 that view it every week, which is really cool. And like, it's like another step to being part of something bigger than just a fitness program. I say I probably care a little too much. I actually take it very personally. Like when you have 1,900 people, you shouldn't take everybody leaving personally. And I still struggle with that. And he's had to almost be like a therapist for me. He's like, you can't control if somebody's moving this month and they're using that as an excuse, Megan, you know, but I do think that there are times in life when caring too much is a good thing. And if you're going to do the program that we do, you do have to care a little too much about every individual, or you'll lose them.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Yeah, going off that, I was thinking about like habits, and like I think people, there's a lot. I mean, a lot of times we have grace for people, right? Like you're gonna have things in life that come up and you fall off and come back. But like when you look at habits, like how long does it take for someone to really get into a lifestyle rather than, you know, falling off, coming back on, falling off, coming back on? Do you see that as a
So I always say that if people will give it 3 straight months, where they are like, they're starting to see results. We're not into the rapid. I don't even like the idea of like rapid weight loss. I think the slow, consistent, like I'm feeling it in my clothes. I'm not really seeing it on the scale, but man, I just feel so good and I have so much more energy. That's when people sustain it. I've said that our society is kind of going backwards now, you know, with all of the things that you can inject and take and stuff. And it is sad because there was, I would say like 2 years ago was just the sweet spot of health and fitness, that like you had all these women were like, I just want to be really freaking strong and I'm focused on protein and like, and now we're kind of going back to what I don't want my daughters, you know, we're going to have 3 girls now. And I remember in college walking into Walmart and buying fat burgers. Like, ew. You know, now I think about that, I'm like, ew. Or like I would starve myself all day and then go out and binge drink at night and then eat pizza. You know what I mean? Just like not anywhere close to what I want my daughters to have. And so I just am here ranting and raving every day to people like, slow, sustainable weight loss and making this a lifestyle that you want to keep for years. Like I plan on doing this till I'm 80. Poor Dirk, because I plan on doing this till I'm 80. You know, I don't look at it like there's an end in sight.
right?
So I would say if you could give it 3 months where they're starting to see those results, they're starting to get more energy, they're starting to realize that it's not that hard to make healthy decisions if you don't overcomplicate it. Like I don't even track or count macros or anything like that. I just am like, hey, this is a food that comes from nature. Like there's that, again, a quote, but don't take advice from me because all I'll tell you to do is spend time with Jesus. lift heavy weights, and eat food that comes from God. Like that's kind of the way that I think that if you live your life, like you'll be shocked at how over a year's time how much you transform as a human being. So I don't really recommend, we have a Mega Strong nutritionist, but I don't really ever say like go count macros or go do this. I'm like, does it come from nature? Can you read the ingredients? Then that sounds great. Do good. That. Yeah. So
we have overcomplicated everything as a solution to our health issues in the country. Absolutely. And that is what it's about. It's like, let's just take all the stress off of ourselves, because it's really shouldn't be that complicated. As great as like, red light is and all of these tools that we have. I mean, you just go back to how did we used to live? We lived out in the sun, we ate meat and drank milk, and it's just how God created us to be. We just overcomplicate it so much.
You're right there with us then.
Yeah, we're like,
is...
we're always just like, people have like demonized the sun. The sun is like a battery pack. Like it's like a charger. Like go.
Vitamin D is very important.
Go walk out in the sunshine. Are you having a bad day? Try going out and walking in the sunshine.
Right. Like, how good do you feel when your feet are on the grass? Like, it's amazing how much things like your body just feels good after.
Drink water.
I agree.
Eat fruit, veggies, and meat and eggs, and like your life is gonna just drastically improve. And I think that's where we noticed a big difference is when we started like. I remember like getting Weight Watchers snacks, and like those were like a bajillion ingredients. You know what I mean? And now I'm like. Yeah, no, I think I really overcomplicated it when I thought that a banana was bad for me.
I know, for sure.
Like, my gosh. Like, if you know how many bananas you'd have to eat for that to be the cause of your weight gain. You know what I mean?
Seriously. I think about all the different, like, back in 10 years ago, I think it is when I think it was hitting the peak of, like, all protein wasn't everything. Like, it was just, like... And all of the sugar-free, and as definitely the most unhealthy point I've been in my life, although I thought I was the healthiest because I was trying to reach all my protein goals, but I'm like, all the artificial lab-made stuff I was putting in my body disgusts me now.
Oh, I think about it too. And they'll even they'll have like a 30 grams of sugar coffee and then add protein to it. And then everybody's like, yes, there's protein in it. And I'm like... If the sugar and the protein are comparable to each other, don't drink that.
Actually, proud of our we're a little excessive, but our kids now, Sawyer's 11, Riley's 9, and we'll be in Costco and they'll come up with some new deal and they're like, this looked really good, but it has enriched wheat on it.
Or this has red guy 40. Why did they put it there? And it's like, we're never thinking weight, with them. And like, even some lady tried to tell my 9-year-old daughter, well, you shouldn't be worried about sugar. You can eat as much sugar as you want. And I was like, no, honey, because that's not healthy.
No.
And we're not about weight. We're about living a healthy lifestyle. Now, do we love some crumble cookies and Dairy Queen?
And we're so 80-20 with our kids too, that kids are even more than 80-20. They're more 60-40. But but like you said, we have a balance. 100%. There's a balance to it where you can enjoy foods. I will say my big thing and how I gained so much weight is I would eat and eat and eat 5 different, a bowl and then another bowl. And the more that we've gone through this in the process in the years, 1 bowl is enough for me. And it's just eating the right things and figuring out what fills you up and what's good for you.
Yeah, for sure.
And the moderation has completely changed.
Because that is the thing that our clients will miss is they'll say, well, Megan said I can eat food that comes from nature, so then I can eat unlimited quantities. And it's like, okay, but we still have to use common sense.
They'll say listen to your body. When it takes training for yourself. But
he didn't have a cat. So I'm really glad we started.
I didn't. I feel much better now. I would do like extra cardio to try to make up for it, and now I don't have to do that. And now my knees feel much better, and I'm in better shape. So.
There you go. Cassidy and I talk a lot about just, there's both extremes. There's the extreme to where like we have the views, the mindsets that we have. But if you only focus on that and you're just like hyper aware of everything that you're doing throughout the day, that you're getting the 10,000 steps, that you're drinking however much water, you're getting the protein goal every day, and then you beat yourself up because you didn't get to it that day, then in my opinion, then that's not helping me at all, because then I'm putting too much pressure on myself, and then I'm putting myself down, not being able to show up for my family.
Right.
And I'm not being able to show up for the people that are coming into my business to trust me with their workout when I'm focused on what I did wrong. And so everything in moderation, and it's not going to be, I mean, the same thing that works for me isn't going to be the same thing that works for you, and it's going to look different every single day. And so I love that you guys have that mindset too, and then share that with your community, because I think the further and wider we can spread that message, the better. I mean, just like, quit overcomplicating it. Just go back to the roots. Look at what our ancestors did. Just simplify it. It doesn't have to be that crazy.
And if you fall off the wagon, then the next day you get to just start over.
Start right back over.
Like it's we need to get over that, like beating ourselves up and shaming each other, because I've always told people I do this for a business, and I don't look like a bodybuilder, and I don't want to. You know, I'm an athlete for One Up Nutrition, and you know, we go to these places and there are legit people there that they're bodybuilders. That's what they do.
They're they're chiseled.
They're
And then
chiseled.
we go out to eat at a restaurant with all of them, and they're like
picking at the food.
And Meg and I are like, "Are you gonna eat? That is steak. I'm eating all your steak." Yeah.
So we always just said that, like, I have no intentions of. I am a Christian, a mom first, and a wife first, and business owner, and I have so many things. But what I love is that you can really show like a very active, healthy lifestyle of, I'm going for longevity. Like, I want to be the grandma that's taking my grandkids hiking when I'm 80. I don't, and Dirk and I talked about, we didn't have that. You know, it was like funny because both of our grandparents were much older by the time we came along. But I just always remember that my grandparents were just like elderly.
Old.
Old. You know what I mean? And now my mom, who has started working out in her 40s and is the most active she's ever been, going into 60. She's a super active grandma. My dad was out jumping on hay bales with my kids, you know, and so your parents would be the same way, you know, like they don't even seem like grandma and grandpas anymore. So it's like really cool that I feel like we've really turned over this leaf. And hopefully it just keeps getting better and better, where like grandparents aren't going to seem like elderly. You know what I mean? And that's my hope, that no matter how old I get, that my grandparents or my grandkids are never going to remember me as like sitting in a chair and never moving.
Exactly. Let's talk about like the home fitness aspect, because we've seen how successful that is. But besides just the fact that you don't have to go to a gym, what has made it so successful, do you think? Is it just not people realizing they don't need a full gym set, and it's more simple than they think?
That's the big word that I always use, is it's just simplifying everything. Is people, especially nowadays, and we have even family and friends that might have a program where it's just so complicated, as far as like all the way down to like the science of what your muscles, and it's like, let's just simplify this as much as we can. We do the workout. We put together these workouts for you guys. This is what time that you need to be there. If you're not there live, then we'll send it out to you. You need these couple weights and a chair, and then just stick with us as best as you can. And if you don't, if you can't, here's some modifications, and then know that you can work up to a burpee if you don't want to do a burpee right now, or you can't. But it's just simplifying things as much as you can. It doesn't need to be so complicated.
We've seen fitness programs where they like post and they're like putting the science behind this and what happens. And I'm like, oh, you just scared 90% of
You lost 90%.
90% of them. Like Dirk and I just think like, show up, have something new and exciting for people every day. And I mean, when we leave, we're dead. And I love that. But it's the worst part about going to a gym for me is, well, I always want to go over the dumbbells. Well, who's always over by the dumbbells? All the like what you would call the meatheads. So I was intimidated by that. Even as somebody who knew what I was doing in the gym, that was intimidating. There's just so much equipment. Nobody knows how to use half the equipment in there. And then also you have to have a plan. But then I would know that even if I had a written plan and there was a line to get to that piece of equipment, then I would skip over that and I'd go do something else. Or like I said, the classic, what women do, few bicep curls and then they go walk on the treadmill. Or a few bicep curls and then they go do the elliptical. So then the strength training was completely taken out of it. With Mega Strong, we have women who work out in their pajamas every day. And I'm like, hey, I'm totally cool with that. If you show up And you put it all. I had a lady who was like, I just love that I don't feel like she's like, I feel like if I leave the house, I need to put on makeup. And she's like, I just love that I don't have to even think about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that that's a big part of it. But then again, too, it's like I said, the community, the realness, the kids coming out, Tommy coming out looking like she just crawled out of the TV of the ring when she had her hair all over the place. You know, I think it's just like, finally we're seeing that fitness influencers, I think, can just be real human beings. Because I see a lot, I'm not going to lie, a lot that I'm like, the life you post is not attainable for the average American.
Right.
Like, it's like your whole day has been focused on health and fitness, and people can't do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it'll be like, I got up at 6:30 and I went to the gym for 2 hours, and then I went and I did a cold plunge after, and I did the sauna, and then I went and I did red light therapy, and then I did this, and it's like,
Where are your children?
where are your children? And also, do you work ever? So it's just like, that seems so unrealistic to like their average mom. And even stay-at-home moms, they're like, hey, I got 50 minutes or I have during nap time and I need to get it done. And we're like, okay, we got you. We got a 50-minute, we got a 30-minute. We have taken all the excuses out of it.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking about women specifically for a second, you talked about how you go to these places and there's lots of bodybuilder chiseled people, and that your goal isn't to look like a bodybuilder. And I think that's like a common misconception, is that if I lift heavy, I'm gonna get bulky. And then people just flip 180, and either they don't do it at all, or they're grabbing tiny little weights, or just doing body weight because they don't want to get bulky. So can you talk a little bit about why it's so important for women to build muscle, and that doesn't necessarily mean getting bulky?
And I want to recreate this video, except I want to carry one of her mini donkeys. But have you ever seen that where a woman like is in the gym and she goes and she grabs like the 10s, and then she's like, oh, that's too heavy. And then she grabs the 5s, but then it has her like she's carrying like a labradoodle in one arm and a kid in the other, and like a couple of diaper bags. And
so true.
And you're like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, Tommy is almost 50 pounds. I have to be strong to carry that girl. You know what I mean? Or like, even just I think about like, man, I remember carrying a car seat. That gets so heavy when you carry those far. But like, women so underestimate themselves. And I actually laugh and say, like, I've kind of been trying to get bulky for like a few years now. Like, it is so much harder than you think. Like, I'm like, I've been trying to like build my legs, build my glutes, you know, like get bigger biceps for years now. And I feel like I just keep, except for when I'm pregnant, but like I keep getting leaner and like long, lean, and athletic. That's what we're going for. But I'm like, I've been kind of trying to bulk up for years now. Do you know how hard it is as a woman to get bulky? It's like insane. Like, you kind of have to have performance enhancing drugs to get bulky as a woman, or you have to be doing like 1 to 3 rep maxes. And none of us are doing 1 to 3 rep maxes with hundreds of pounds. But I was just laugh because I'm like, we'll be lifting kids, lifting groceries, doing all this stuff, and then being like, but I can't lift with 10-pound weights. Like, that's too much. So and I'm just like, but muscle is the organ of longevity. You know, and I saw a stat the other day, and if you think of nothing else when you think of lifting, there's a couple new articles, and it varies. Like, one I saw 80%, one I saw 85%. But if you regularly lift for years, your chance of having Alzheimer's goes down by like 80 to 85%. There's a new study. Like, we're all scared of that. My grandma, when she passed away, literally didn't know who her kids were. Like, you know, she got it bad. She went from being like one of the smartest women I know. She was the first woman in her family to go to college. Brilliant woman, raised 7 kids that survived, had 11 kids total, ran the family business, and by the end, didn't remember any of her kids, any of her grandkids. You'd walk in and she'd just be like, oh, you're such a pretty girl. Who are you? You know, like, so we're all scared of that. So if you don't think of even one thing of why you want to have muscle mass on your body and not just be skinny as all get out, you're reducing your chances of struggling with that. Like, are you kidding me? That's
huge.
That's huge.
And I know that it was for women, and women really, that it's more about women not wanting to get bulky. That's a huge topic. A lot of men do like to have there's really 2 types of guys that like to stay in shape. There's the ones that like, they love to lift the heavy weight. I've been there. I was twice the size in muscle mass for football. I much rather prefer this. And that's what Mega Strong is higher reps, more intense, lower weights, higher reps.
Yeah.
I found that it gave me a lot more energy. So when I was big and bulky, I didn't need to, like in football, you run 7 seconds hard and then you take a 30-second break. Well, now it's just the going throughout the day.
You never could have ran a half marathon.
No, and I mean,
we recently ran a half marathon together.
Yeah, well,
like,
we didn't train for hiking at all, and then we went and did the Half Dome, which was 17 miles down and back, and there was no training as far as hiking or stair climb. It's just this is a body that can go and do something,
Right.
Yeah, like that.
if I needed
key.
to,
Yeah.
or if her dad needed help on the farm, which he still hasn't asked, but. If you need help on the ranch, then I can jump in and.
But we said that we did one of the hardest hikes in America, and we didn't train.
Yeah.
No, we just did our
it was
full run.
and it
just able to
sucked,
do it.
but it was tough. But
Right.
you got it done.
As some
Nobody
shit
got
though,
injured,
yeah,
so.
exactly.
So that's what we always say. It's like when we go on trips, we want to go on the coolest, most scenic hikes. And how much would that suck if all you could enjoy on a trip was the pool bar?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And we love seeing that out of clients is they went from a couple that would just go and want to sit on a
Drink the
beach
whole
and drink
time.
beans,
Yeah.
which I used to want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, if you're going to go on vacation, so we see that transformation in clients too, that they're like, we just hiked this mountain.
We just
which is
did
so
this.
cool.
It's
So
like,
cool.
What an
Yeah.
accomplishment. Like
Right.
when I go on a trip, I don't want to just see the pool.
Yeah.
Or
I
they
wanna
tie in
see-
a half marathon or something, or a race with
That's
their
so
trip
awesome,
instead.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Megan, you're expecting in a few months. What advice do you give to pregnant women or postpartum women?
So we're a family of 4, but biologically, we're gonna be a family with 4 kids. Sorry, this is our 4th, but biologically, I've had 2 myself. And what I can say is I worked up literally until the day I delivered. I'm very proud of that. Literally the day I delivered, I worked out that morning with both girls. Plan on doing the same with this one. And I will say that both of my doctors actually, it was like a running joke. Like, are you going to beat last time that because it was like my deliveries were just so quick.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just, and I was a very active pregnant woman. I really pushed myself. But there's just so many misconceptions. Like I always say, like, unless your doctor has like a medical reason, there is so much information out there now. So unless you're a high risk pregnancy, there is no reason that you cannot work out when you were pregnant. And there's so much don't stress yourself out. Don't do this. I'm like, do you know what women used to do when they were pregnant?
Yeah.
Like, do you know, I mean, my grandma had 11 kids. You think that she like never got her heart rate over anything, or that she never lifted heavy stuff or did any of that? So I always just say that like our bodies are capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. And then the best thing that I ever did, I always get accused of bouncing back, which is like, get so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, you mean that I worked out up until the day I delivered and
Yeah.
then 3 weeks later was working out again? Yeah, I really bounced back. let me
Bounced
tell ya.
back, yeah.
But no, it's the best thing you can do. I mean, Dirk actually was laughing with me because they told me it was time to push with Tani, and I was like laughing about it. And it was just such a quick and easy labor and delivery. And I know that's not the case for some people, but I could not imagine how hard it would be to go through one of the most, I say like, labor is like it's like running a marathon.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most intense physical things you're gonna do, and you plan on being your most out of shape
Right.
For that,
when you go into
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Like that's
So
insane
true.
to
It's a
me.
good way to
Like
look at it.
they say like labor is literally like you're burning as many calories as if you ran a marathon.
Yeah.
I be in shape for it.
You might as well be in good shape for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to make it hard, be in really bad shape.
And you were 3 days after getting on the treadmill. For those of you, if you want to sign up and you're worried that Megan's pregnant, I take over for her classes for a little bit of time. So I don't just do mine. We do both of them, and I take over. And you were trying to push your way into the.
I was. He wouldn't let me just stand at the door.
She's trying to break in. She's trying to do the workout again.
That's hilarious.
But I love what I do, and
Yeah.
also I just like when you feel good. If I felt like absolute crap after it, but I felt so good. So I can't preach that enough. That like the best thing I ever did was work out up until the day I delivered, and then get right back to it, because I know women who are like, my kid's 6 months old now. I think I'm ready to get back into it. I'm like, oh, you were gonna have such a hard time getting back to working out. So it's just keeping that routine, and you feel good and have so much more energy. I can't imagine. I'd be a bear.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. I know myself. If I don't get my workouts in, that's like, moms have confused working out with being selfish.
Yeah.
And it's just so ridiculous because if I don't get my workouts in, if I don't have like that little bit of me time, then my kids would really see what like a mean, selfish mom was. But when I get my workout in, I just feel like I can handle whatever gets thrown my way.
And then it helps that you're instilling that in our next generation of our what will be 3 daughters that can do the same thing too.
Yeah, I want them to want to be strong. Like I always say that if you establish that, your kids aren't going to think of working out like a burden or like it's something that's like crazy overachieving. That's just going to be like what you do.
Yeah.
So our daughters will go out in the garage and make up like mock workouts on our boards, and we'll come out and they'll have like their iPads playing music and they're doing their own little workouts, and Tommy's like attempting to do box jumps and stuff like that. And it's just like for them, it's just something that's just a part of your life,
Right.
you know.
Leading by example. Yeah, that's perfect. Well, we won't take up too much more of your time, but I do want to ask one more question of you guys both. What does we talk a lot about wellness, and obviously our podcast is Threads of Wealth and the wellness aspect, but what does living well mean to you guys?
To me, it's I can just summarize it, and I want to be the best and most active and strongest version of myself for my kids and my grandkids. Like I said, my worst fear is that my grandkids would think of me like an elderly grandma who was too fragile to do anything with them. And that's not, I'm not thinking how good can I look right now. I'm thinking how strong and healthy can I be for when I'm 80? So when you can think of it that way, you're not going to be focused on skinny or how you look in clothes or how you look in a swimsuit. You're going to be thinking like, how much muscle can I put on? How healthy can I be? What steps can I take today to ensure that when I'm 80, excuse my language, but I'm a badass grandma?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
To me, I because I got to live both lives, unlike you really, when I gained all that weight, and that was about a year to 2 years of being unhealthy, I would say, and just the happiness that I had. I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I did not like who I was. I would not like the clothes that I wore. So for me, it's the happiness and the energy that I can bring, and then that my kids see that too. So you're just kind of setting your kids up to understand that when you work out and you're the best version of yourself and you're healthy, that they can have that same lifestyle. I mean, the way that I worked, if you would have asked an old boss of mine, that transition was, he was there and he kind of worked hard to like, he's one of the best workers that we have. Yeah, so
we always say that it runs over into every aspect of your life.
Yeah,
it really does. Yeah.
If you work hard in your workouts and you feel good, it'll like go into your marriage. It'll go into your parenting. Like I can't imagine what our marriage would look like if I was healthy and you were leading an extremely unhealthy lifestyle. And I do feel bad because we do have couples who struggle with that, you know, and I just feel, I'm like, just keep working on them. Just keep like, if you show that you're happy and you're healthy, eventually they're going to want to join. And we do see that. We see a lot of time. It might take the husband years, but eventually they're like, okay, I'm kind of tired of feeling like that.
Eventually, when I say that there are husbands that reach out, and speaking of the well-being, is and these are husbands that you see them and you're like, I've talked to this guy before. He has nothing to say. He's not very social at all. You wouldn't imagine that they would reach out, and all of a sudden you'll get a message from them 3 years down the road, and they're like, I just want to thank you for saving our lives, and how much weight he's lost and how happy they are.
That's so cool.
That's the big thing for well-being for me is just the happiness that it brings with all the energy that you have, and that you can live your life to the fullest.
For sure.
Can you tell the audience where to find you guys on social media, and then how you can sign up to be in your program?
megastrongfitness.com is our website. That's kind of where everything goes through. Our Facebook business page is just Mega Strong Fitness, and then at Mega Strong Fitness on Instagram.
Awesome. And we'll link it in the show notes too, so that people can just go to it. But
awesome.
It was so good having you guys. This was
thank you guys so much.
The most fun interview, and learned a lot from you guys. So
thank you. It was great. Thank you for tuning in today. If you enjoyed our conversation with Megan and Dirk, please be sure to leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen to your podcast, and share with a friend. Please follow us on social media at Threads of Wealth to stay in touch with what is going on next. See you next time.